Hello and welcome everyone to this unboxing of the iPhone 15. This one is not a Pro model, not a Plus, not a Pro Max, just the standard iPhone 15 in the blue colorway. So today I'll be quickly showing you guys around this box and what comes inside, as well as going through the setup tutorial. As we can see on the bottom, it says that it's an iPhone 15, this one's the blue model, and it has 128 gigabytes of storage. I picked this one up over Black Friday, and this is going to my mom for Christmas. There's a pull tab at the top of the box, but there's also one at the bottom of the box that I didn't see until a little bit later, so that's why I had some trouble opening it initially. But once you do open it up, you see the blue iPhone 15 right in front of you. Now I'm going to set that aside for a moment while we take a look at some of the other stuff that comes in the box. One thing that we get is this little pamphlet in here with some quick setup guides, as well as our warranty info, and only one Apple sticker. I don't know why Apple's been doing this recently, but they only give you one sticker with iPhones, so they're being a little bit more stingy with them. And it's not even in the same color as the phone, which is also a little bit disappointing. I wish that they did that, since they do that on the Macs, so why not the iPhones? I feel like that would be kind of a nice touch. But moving along from that, you also get a braided USB-C to USB-C cable that's around 1 meter or 3 feet long. Again, they didn't color match this or anything to the iPhone, so it's just in the white color. And with it also being a braided fabric, it's probably going to get a little bit dirty and yellow quickly, so just bear that in mind with this. Now, something interesting to note too is that this packaging is very bland. You can see I just kind of knocked on it to see what it's made out of, and it all feels pretty recyclable. And so afterwards, I actually just recycled this box, since there wasn't really a whole lot that was special about it. I remember a few years ago that boxes used to be more of a fun thing to keep around with tech products, but with stuff like this, I don't really see a need to keep it anymore. It's not that fun of a design, and there's not a whole lot to it. I know Apple's trying to be all eco-friendly with the packaging, but it would be kind of nice if it was a little bit more fun looking or something that you wanted to keep around instead of just a bland cardboard box pretty much. But now moving to the phone itself, you can see a power button on our right side, along with a small spot for our signal to be able to go through, since the exterior of it is made out of aluminum. On the right side, you don't have an action button since this is the 15, but it does still have the mute switch and the volume up and down buttons. Pulling up that tab, we can see our 6.1-inch display on this iPhone, and weirdly enough, I thought that the back of it also had a paper finish, but no, that's just how it comes. The back of the phone has a satin finish to it, and it's also pretty soft to the touch. A little bit slippery too, I might add, so maybe a case is a good idea for this phone. I'm tired of seeing fingerprints all over phones, and it gets annoying to keep clean so often, so the satin finish on the base model is kind of a nice touch. Now getting this phone started, you can see that dynamic island at the top of the display, which is new for the iPhone 15 model versus the 14. Now that we've opened up the phone, we can start selecting some of our options, such as our language, region, and the appearance of the device with the different font sizes. It's nice how simple this is and that they're giving this to you all up front at the beginning, so you can at least be able to learn more about the phone after you've set it up initially. This will be my mom's first iPhone as she's switching from a OnePlus device that she's been using for around 6 years, so it'll take a little bit of time for her to get used to. Now I'm just going to enter in my Wi-Fi password for her, and we are all good to go. Now I don't know what this menu is here saying that it's activating your iPhone. I thought maybe it was linking your iCloud to the device, but I haven't put in my iCloud yet, so I don't know exactly what this step is. And we also haven't done anything with our carrier since this model also deals with an eSIM. But nonetheless, we are able to move on from that screen pretty quickly and start setting up the phone. Features such as Face ID that are built into that top dynamic island, I have decided to skip for now since I'm not my mom. Since I'm not setting up that Face ID, I'm just going to quickly make an easy passcode to remember, and apparently I put it in wrong, so I have to re-enter it again. Once I finally figured out how to type on a keyboard, we can see a few options for transferring apps and data if you have another Mac, PC, Android device, or another iPhone. But obviously again, I'm just going to be starting completely fresh on this device. And now we can link an Apple account to this device, so I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. And voila, we are all done. The phone's going to sign in for a few seconds, and then we should be all good to go with this Apple ID. And that's until dual factor authentication kicked in, and I have to go back to her Mac to get a password from it. Apple's all about security these days especially, so that makes sense that I had to go back and get another password just to verify that this is really me signing into the account. But for now, I'm also going to skip that eSIM setup since I'll have to go ahead and call up T-Mobile anyways for it, since I don't have a QR code readily available, or I wasn't switching from another device using an eSIM. One downside with this phone is that if you've never set up an eSIM before, you're likely going to have to call up your carrier or go to a physical store in person to go ahead and get that squared away. When I did this later, it didn't take me that long, maybe no more than 10-15 minutes of calling up T-Mobile, but in my opinion, it was still a little bit more of a hassle compared to just swapping a physical SIM card. You can also see the new emergency SOS buttons on here for crash detection and emergency SOS via satellite on the new iPhones. So that's a pretty cool option that these models have, where you don't even need any sort of connection and you can still send out a message for help. That's a pretty nice feature to have in case you've gotten into an accident and can't reach your phone, or you're stuck out in the woods somewhere and can't get a signal to call for help. Hopefully, if you were interested in this phone, you found this video useful to see what you get in the box and what the setup process is going to be like. If you have questions about this phone or other tech topics, feel free to leave that down in the comments section below. And lastly, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to more tech content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Tech Device News.